Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. Remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe, right? If you have not yet subscribed, please subscribe now. And also subscribe to my other YouTube channel called Curry Fences. All right, many students have been asking for another paper 3. There is already one on the channel that says 2016, I think it's May, June, paper 3 for Csec Social Studies. So now I'm going to do another one. This is the 2015 Social Studies paper 3. All right, let's get the ball rolling. And while I'm getting this to full screen, please subscribe. Just hit subscribe. Hit subscribe, man. Hit subscribe. All right. Let's begin. So this is 2015 paper 3, May, June. All right, so it says before you write, and this paper 3 is for private candidates who are not doing who did not do any SVA. Good, so it says before you write your answers, choose one of the following research topics and write it in the space provided. You will be required to answer questions 1, 2, and 3 related to the topic you have chosen. So the topics are 1, unemployment in my country, 2, government funding of tertiary education. All right, so we are going to select the first topic, that is unemployment in my country. All right, let's breeze through this. This topic is similar to the first one, but this time I'm going to go all the way through the paper. The first one, I only did a part of the paper, but I'm going to do everything so that you can understand what you are doing for all the sections of the paper 3, so you can maximize points and get a grade 1, because I know that everybody wants to get a grade 1, right? Everybody wants to get a grade 1. So you need to study and understand this paper 3 because it's pretty easy. Very, very easy. So don't kill out yourself. Just practice, 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 because practice makes perfect, right? Again, subscribe to my channel. All right, so we're doing unemployment in my country. So the first thing that you must do, you must write the topic that you have chosen, because the space is there. The space is there for a reason. Do not leave it blank. Do not leave it blank. Even at the end when you are finished, go through the paper, look over, and ensure that you would have answered all the questions, right? Always have your topic in mind. It says unemployment in my country. Have that in mind so you know exactly what you're working with. So you write that, unemployment in my country. All right, good. 1A says, give one reason why you would research the topic chosen, right? So you can simply say, I have seen high levels of unemployment in my community, right? Or you can say you have heard the cries of many unemployed persons within your community. So you have decided to carry out an investigation to find out whatever you want to find out, cause, effect, solution. Good. B now says the problem statement indicates the focus of the study. Write a problem statement for the topic you have chosen. Let me get a little bit more comfortable. The problem statement indicates the focus of the study. Write a problem statement for the topic you have chosen by completing the following statement. The study will, so you are going to write now what the study is hoping to achieve, what you are hoping to find out, the conclusion that you're hoping to draw, right? So you can frame it like this. So you can say, the study will seek to find out the causes, effects, and possible solution to the issue of unemployment in my country, right? So your study should focus on 3 research areas: cause, effect, and solution. And those are the things that you are going to seek to find out. It's almost like the SVA. So the SVA is surrounded by those research questions. What C now says, a question may be used to focus your research topic. Write a research question to give focus to your study. So write a research question. Many times students make the mistake by writing a statement and not a question. Remember, you should form a question hoping to get an answer, right? So do not write a statement, but write a question. I've gone ahead and I've pre-prepared 2 questions that you can frame, right? All right, let me give you 5 seconds. Give you some time to see if you can actually frame a question right now. 5 seconds. I'm giving you 5 more. All right, so that's 10 seconds. So you should be able to frame a question, right? All right, let me hear your question that you have framed. Let me hear the question. All right, not bad for your first time. All right, hear mine now and then use mine to judge yours, or you're going to compare both of them. You're going to compare the question that you just created and also my question. All right, so I'm going to say one way that I could ask this question is what accounts for the high levels of unemployment in my country? So when I say what accounts for, I'm going to look at the causes of unemployment. That's simply basically what I'm asking. Also, I can frame the question taking all the 3 areas into account. I can say what are the major causes, effects, and possible solutions to the problem of unemployment in my country. All right? So as for one, I gave you 2. So that's the kind of way you are to form your question. This paper 3 will be set in almost the same way, right? They're going to ask you to write down the topic, give your reason for the research, come up with questions, your problem statement, almost the same thing. So have those kinds of general ideas in your mind so you have an understanding of what you will be asked to write about. All right, let's move on. Next. So this now says, name one data gathering instrument other than an interview schedule that you will design to obtain answers from the research question you had stated at once. So what can you use other than interview to get the kind of information that you need to find out about unemployment in your country? Outside of an interview schedule, you can use a questionnaire. If you don't know what a questionnaire is, please research it. So for this, know what a questionnaire is and benefits of it. Know what the interview schedule is. You understand? Know those things so you can actually put it in the research, because this is like a mini research that you're doing on the spot. So know that as well. All right. B says, give one reason why you chose the data gathering instrument. So know at least 3 advantages of using a questionnaire and 3 advantages of using an interview schedule, because they might ask you to justify the reason for using the instrument. All right, so one benefit of a questionnaire, is respondents maintain anonymity, right? So they're anonymous. So they don't have to write their names when using a questionnaire. 2, a questionnaire is easy to gather data and tabulate information because it is just right there and the information is at your fingertips, right? And many times with questionnaire, respondents are given possible answers that they're just ticking a box. So it's not anything that they have to do real deep thinking to come up with their own answers, even though some questionnaires have open-ended questions. Number C says, letter C says, for number 2 says, state one strategy that researchers use to make their data gathering instruments clear. So what can the researcher do to make the instrument clear so that people can easily understand it and they know how to follow and they are not confused? So what can they do? All right, so it asks for 1. I've written down about 3 here. So 1, they need to give clear instructions. So what I usually instruct my students to do when they are doing their SBA is that you give the respondent a letter, or you read the letter to them, because not everybody reads well. So you read the letter to them outlining the instructions. So the instructions must be clear, right? 2, it must not be ambiguous, right? Whatever you mean, that is what you must mean. So it shouldn't have a double, triple meaning. Good. Also, you must explain clearly to the respondents what is to be done. Sometimes you think they understand based on what they have read, but sometimes they don't understand. So you know, as a researcher, you have to explain to them what they are being required to do. All right, clear so far? All right, so far so good, man. We're not going good. You guys are going on really well. All right, so next, 3A says, identify a sample. In research, a sample is chosen from a larger group called the population. Identify the population from which you will choose a sample to study the topic you have chosen, right? This is pretty easy. Remember, you are doing unemployment in your country. So my sample will come from unemployed people who are better than those who are unemployed to give you information about unemployment more than people who are unemployed. Get it? Yeah, so you select persons who are unemployed. So in carrying out research, you're probably going to do a mini interview to find out those who are unemployed to give them the questionnaires. Good. B says, based on the topic you chose, write 3 questions you will ask the members of the sample to answer. This is pretty easy. Remember, over at question 1, I believe, you were asked to write down a couple questions. Remember, it's the same topic. You can always rewrite those questions around here. You don't have to stress yourself to come up with new questions. If you are bright, then you can sit down and formulate new questions. But I'm a very lazy person, you know. I'm pretty lazy, so I will find an easy way how to do things. So I will rewrite some of the questions. Nothing wrong with that. So you can ask, how has unemployment affected you as an individual, right? You can ask, what solution you think can be put forward to reduce the high levels of unemployment, right? You can ask them, are you employed, self-employed, unemployed, or you're not looking for work, right? You can ask them what has caused them to become unemployed, or what do they think has caused them to become unemployed. So there are several questions there. So that's how you must think and formulate your questions. All right. C now says, state one reason why a sample is necessary to investigate the topic you have chosen. Why is a sample necessary? Why you don't just go out and just interview everybody or give everybody a questionnaire, right? A sample is necessary because it reduces cost to survey the entire target population. Because imagine going out to interview everybody who is unemployed. Think about the cost that is associated with that. So the sample now reduces cost. Good. D now says, identify 2 ways to choose a sample for the topic you have chosen. So how are you going to go about choosing the sample? 2 ways that this can be done is random selection, right? So complete sample frame of all eligible individuals. So you can just randomly select persons who are unemployed and give them. Then you can use non-random. So you target specific persons who you know are unemployed or who is known to be unemployed to make them a part of the sample. Remember, when you're using random sampling, more than likely you're going to need to do a mini interview because you have to find out if they're unemployed or not. Understand? All right, great. You guys are doing so good. All right, so we get to question 4 now. So this says questions 4 and 5 are based on the following survey. Answer both questions. Pay attention. The questions 4 and 5 will surround this passage. So you have to pay close attention to the passage. So ensure that you take your time and you read it and you highlight important information because questions 4 and 5 surrounds this paragraph. Clear? All right. So underline on the paper, highlight, make a little short notes. If you have a blank paper or a full leaf, make a little short notes on it because it's going to be crucial to answering questions 4 and 5. Paragraph now. The Minister of Health in Barjam stated that the percentage of the country's health budget spent on treating chronic non-communicable diseases had been increasing every year over the last 10 years. Following the minister's statement, a researcher investigated the prevalence of chronic non-communicable diseases in an urban district. The sample consisted of 400 adults equally divided between males and females. 25% of the males had diabetes, 35% had hypertension, 30% were obese, and 10% had cancer. 35% of the females had diabetes, 25% were hypertensive, 25% obese, and 15% had cancer. What I usually do is that I read the paragraph at least twice Because for me, my attention span is very short, right? I've been that way since I was a toddler. My attention span is very short. So more than likely when I'm reading, I'm not recording all the important information. So I just read, familiarize myself with it, then I read it a second time to tie down the details that I think I'm going to need. Notice I did not look at the questions yet, because sometimes when you look at the questions before reading the paragraph, it confuses you or it makes you miss out important details, because subconsciously sometimes you are reading to find the answer and not necessarily paying attention, right? So first you have to read the information twice to ensure that it sticks. 4A, state the focus of the survey conducted by the researcher. That's pretty easy. The focus is the prevalence of chronic non-communicable diseases in an urban district. That's the focus of the researcher. BI says, state the sample size that was used in the research. The sample size is clearly stated. It says that the sample consisted of 400 adults. So that is right there. So those answers are right there. So we're going good so far, right? 2 now says, BII says, state one important characteristic of the sample that was used in the research. One important feature of the sample. They all had non-communicable diseases. Notice this is a teachable moment for the first part, questions 1, 2, and 3 of this paper. Notice that the focus of the study was non-communicable diseases, and the sample size were persons who had non-communicable diseases. So it's the same thing for unemployment that we were doing before. The focus was on unemployment, so your sample must be of persons who are unemployed. I hope you're tying that down in your mind. All right, C now says, write one research question for the problem that was investigated. So it's the same thing that we do for 1, 2, and 3. Write a research question, so you should have the same thinking. So one research question would be, are you diabetic, hypertensive, obese, or do you have cancer? So that's the research question. D now says, state 2 ways in which the researcher could have ensured that confidentiality of the information provided by the sample. How could the researcher ensure that the information was kept or is being kept confidential, right? So you come up with 2 ways. Way 1, ask the respondents not to write their names on the paper, so they remain anonymous. 2, we could say the researcher could keep the information confidential, not sharing the information with anybody else and keeping it confidential, keeping it safe, so people's business are not out there and in the open, because not everybody wants people to know that they have certain kinds of diseases. Understand that? Right. Question 5 now says, using the table below, display the data the researcher obtained from the research. Arrange the date by gender and number of respondents. Again, pay close attention to this. It is saying that using the table below, display the data the researcher obtained from the research. Arrange the date by gender and number of respondents. So you have to go do a little working out here. You understand? So percentage, remember the sample size is 400. So you have to work out the percentage, right? So it says that the sample consisted of 400 adults equally divided between males and females. So it's 200 males, 200 females. This information is critical. And remember, it says that 25% of males, 25% of the males had diabetes, right? So 25% of 200 is how much? All of my maths people, because I'm not good at maths. Correct. 25% of 200 is 50. So 50 and 50, 100, that would be 50%. You understand? 150 would be 75%, 200, 100%. So ensure that you can work out a little percentage, because you're going to need it for question 5. Any kind of paper 3 that they send, you must be able to work out simple percentage. Look here, I'm not good at math, right? But I had to learn this in order to teach this to my students, because I also teach private candidates. So I had to learn this to teach it to my students. So you have to work out how much is the particular percentage, right? So the information says 25%. of the males had diabetes, 35% had hypertension. So you have to work out how much is 35%. 30% are obese, you have to work out how much is 30%, and 10% had cancer. You have to work out how much is 10%. And it's the same for the females. 35% of the females had diabetes, 25% were hypertensive, 25% were obese, and 15% had cancer. Remember, this says arrange the date by gender and number of respondents. They didn't ask for the percentage that was given in the paragraph because they want you to work out the percentage. So, you see that? So you must be able to work it out. So the males for diabetes, we have 50, hypertension 70, and obesity 60, cancer 20. So all of this need to add up to 200. So males, 50 had diabetes, 70 had hypertension, 60 were obese, and 20 had cancer. So 50 and 70, that's 120, plus 60, 180, plus 20, 200. So that's 100%. See that? Right, so females, 70 had diabetes, 50 had hypertension, 50 were obese, and 30 had cancer. So 70 and 50, 120, plus 50, 170, plus 30, 200. So it must add up back to 200. Great? So we get over that part and we get with 2 marks. So going down, BI says, in the space provided below, draw a bar graph to display the data collected for 4 diseases from either males or females. Remember to label each bar. So it says either the male or the females. Any one of the group you can use to plot the bar graph. Please, students, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, do some research on constructing a bar graph, because all the paper 3s, you are going to be required to work out percentage and also construct a bar graph. So you must know how to construct a bar graph, right? So it says, use the lines provided to give the graph a title, label each axis. I've gone ahead and I've worked out this, right? And I've actually put the paper there to show how I actually worked out, because I know that this can be a little bit difficult. Because I'm not a maths person, so I sympathize with those who are not good at math either. So we can see that males 50, diabetes, hypertension 70, obesity 60, cancer 20. Females, diabetes 70, hypertension 50, obesity 50, cancer 30. So we're going down to our bar graph now. It says give it a title and label the axis at the top. We can see the title, bar graph showing number of males with non-communicable diseases. You must label it properly. You must give it a title, the proper title. Remember, it says we can use either males or females. I'm using the figures for the males. So I have to give it the proper title so that the person who is marking knows exactly what I'm doing. So I says bar graph, I said bar graph showing number of males with non-communicable diseases, right? So I label my bar graph, right, with the proper axis. So over to the left going up is the number of males, and at the base going from left to right is the type of communicable diseases. So see there, number of males, and down at the bottom I said types of non-communicable diseases, right? So I label starting from 0. You can start, so each bar, so each line, look at the line and you see my 0 axis. Then above it, I use 10 because I go up all the way to 70. I go in bouts of 10. You can use 5 too, depending on the higher number, and if it can actually, 5 can actually reach to the largest number that you have in the table up above. There's probably some better mathematical explanation for it, but I'm not a mathematics teacher. So bear with me, this is the best way that I can explain this. So I use 10 because the bar graph is small and it will stop at 80. And the highest number that I have in my table for the males is 70. Right, so I go to 0, then I have 10, then I have 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. You see that? So the number who have diabetes is 50. So I construct my bar, you see diabetes from 0 to 50, and I shade it in. I usually skip, some persons do it side by side, but I skip because of neatness. So the number of persons who are hypertensive is 70. So you notice I go from 0 to 70. See down at the bottom I said hyper. Then now we have obesity. Those who are obese is 60. right? So I stop at 60 and I shade it in. Those who have cancer is 20. So I stop at 20 and I shade it in. Notice I stop at 60. So know how to construct the bar, because some persons are hypertensive, that is 70. They will probably bring it up to 80 and think that 70 stops there. 70 is between the number that I labeled 60 and the number that I labeled 70. That is 70. That's where 70 stops. That is where 70 starts, I should say. So from 70 to 80, that's 80. Understand, ladies and gentlemen? From the base of 50 to the top of 60, that's 50. Following? Following, remember I said, you know, I am not a maths teacher. So notice, let me go again, because I don't want you guys to get confused, right? And I don't want to confuse myself either, right? Let's go again. You see we have 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. So from the base, that's 0. So we count up. Some small lines are there. So you can mark it yourself and count 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So right at 10, that's where 10 stops. Good? Then you can count again 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. That's where 20 stops. Hope you guys understand. All right, so this is my bar graph, well labeled and accurately labeled. Oh, that's the same thing, but anyway, yes. C now says, write 2 findings about the data you have displayed in the graph in question 5B. So you're going to write 2 findings. So based on the information that the researcher presented on the bar graph, write 2 findings. The findings are what is presented on the graph. It's pretty easy. So 1, the data shows that 20% of the men surveyed had cancer. We see the 20%, right? We see it, right? Now, the data also shows that 70% of the men surveyed had hypertension. 70%, no, sorry, not percentage. I'm so sorry. I shouldn't be using percentage. Let's do that again. The data shows that 20 of the men surveyed had cancer, 20. Then the data also shows that 70 of the men surveyed had hypertension. Right? So the finding is pretty clear. Or whatever obesity, the amount of persons who had obesity, you could use it. Right? Great. B now says, state 1 recommendation which a researcher can make based on the findings. So based on the findings, you find out how many people had cancer, were hypertensive, had diabetes, and who were obese, right? What sort of recommendation you think the researcher can make based on the specific findings? So it asks for 1. So obesity seems to be a major contributory factor in causing non-communicable diseases. Therefore, respondents need to consult with a dietitian to consume a balanced diet to reduce obesity, right? They could also exercise as well, right? For cancer, if you actually plot the ladies' information, they could check for cancer on a yearly basis. Like you can do the mammogram, and all the other tests, because I don't know some of them. You understand? A change in lifestyle, right? To reduce the probability of developing some of these non-communicable diseases. Final question now, she says, suggest how the recommendation in D above may be implemented. Right, so that recommendation, that again, how can this be practically implemented, right? Easy. For the diet, they can seek a dietitian or consult with your personal doctor, right? To actually work out a plan, and you or the person who has the disease ensure that they follow it, right? Simple one, another simple one is that they can join a gym. Simple, join a gym, go 3 times, at least 3 times per week for workout for half an hour. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys would have learned a lot. If there are any questions, post it in the comment section below and I will respond as soon as possible. I usually respond very quickly because I know exams are right around the corner, and I make myself available. I take time out of my busy schedule and I make myself available to provide feedback to all my subscribers. All right, so remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe to this channel. Thank you for watching.